Welcome to the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Each episode will dive into the world of search engine optimization for cannabis dispensaries. We'll discuss the latest strategies and tactics to help your dispensary rank higher on search engines and attract more patients and customers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we explore how to maximize your online presence and stay ahead of the competition in the rapidly growing cannabis industry.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of High Rankings podcast. We are on episode number 70, and this week we're going to be talking about testing your SEO. But before we dive in, let's catch up. Let's find out what's been going on in our very exciting lives that we lead. What's new in your world?
Yeah, so had a good weekend. Was up in Winter Park for a couple of days. How long were we up there? 4 days, maybe 3-4 days. We found these cool condos just outside of Winter Park. It's like 5 minutes past Winter Park. It's called Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Safeways there. There's no like grocery store. Like there's no big grocery store in Winter Park proper. So you just drive 5 minutes west into the small town called Fraser. And there's a Safeway there. And then like really close to the Safeway, these new batch of condos, and a lot of them up on Airbnb. So we just stay there. So myself and my girlfriend, we stay there for a couple nights. So I can hit Trestle for a couple days, and that was the whole thing. I didn't get hurt, but I ran into a tree.
Again? I feel like we ran into a tree like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, so the one 2 weeks ago, I misjudged. Well, I wasn't going fast enough. I misjudged this jump, and I didn't get the line straight, and I just hit this tree. This past time, I hit pretty hard, but yeah, I just kind of lost control. Actually, the tree saved me. I've been a lot worse had that tree. I might have flipped over the bars had I not hit that tree. So anyway, stay there a couple nights. There was a big race on Saturday, and I had a buddy racing in that. I did not race. I do want to do a race. I don't know. I've only been riding for a couple of years now, so there's really good riders in those races. There's like pros. They travel from all over the country. Like Trestle is like one of, if not the top downhill bike park in the US. So there's people that travel from all over the country to come to these races. The terrain is incredible at Trestle. And so I had a buddy racing in that. So he crashed with us on Friday night. So we went out to a nice dinner, got caught up with him. Good to see him. We rode on Friday. We did a couple laps, and I feel like I've been getting better. Like, just because I've been out there like a good number of times. I have my season pass. I've made some trips up there. I'm learning the lines, and like, jumping on your bike is a skill. Cornering is a skill. Not using your brake is a skill. But I forgot how fucking fast this guy is. He is so damn fast around. Like, I can keep up with him for like a little bit, and then he just disappears, and then I just see him like float in the air. After a while, like I just lose sight of him. I forgot how fucking fast that guy is. He's my boy though. Good dude. So he crashed with us. And yeah, so he was just showing me like, hey, like try this, don't use your brake here. Basically, he was teaching me how to go like 35, 40 miles an hour on these lines, which is a lot of fun. It's dangerous. I mean, when you're riding scared, that's when it gets dangerous. When you're kind of apprehensive.
Yeah.
Or like you're not like all in on something. Like, it takes a while to learn, and that's a skill. Like you have to learn how to not be scared throwing yourself down a mountain on a bike.
Yeah, no thanks. I would literally pee my pants. So.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun though. But anyway, saw some Olympics. Let's see. Yeah, of course we come back and it's just blistering hot here in Denver. It's just grossly hot. It was nice. It was so crisp. That place is so cool. It's like maybe from our condo to there's like a little brewery, maybe a city block. So we can just walk there, and it's like so crisp at night and so quiet, and they've got like good food, and we hang out there at the brewery for a while. So that was fun. Yeah, we stayed there 3-4 nights, and yeah, just work stuff. And my other shoulder, well, when I ran into that tree, it's a little sore, but I mean, I'll be fine. That stuff happens.
Do you wear your glasses when you're mountain biking?
No. So I wear my contacts. And then I wear a full face helmet. So like what you see like motocross riders wear.
Yeah. I think maybe
goggles.
to get your prescription checked.
Well, these fucking trees it's not that they come out of nowhere. It's just you're going so fast and it's hard. Some of those turns are blind. So you're not sure what's on the other side. And if you're going fast enough, you just like
I mean, honestly, here's an idea. Don't hurry yourself down a mountain if you don't know what's around the corner.
Anyway, yeah, getting caught up in the Olympics. We saw the Deadpool. Oh, that was the week before. We saw the Deadpool movie. We have some friends who just saw it last night. They're like, it was their favorite Deadpool movie. The cameos and everything.
It is so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, just trying to, finish out the season healthy and gearing up for our trip.
You're not going to do that if you keep running into trees.
Yeah, I've got a better lay of the land now. I think I'll be all right. So, yeah, that's about it. What have you been doing, Kaz?
Well, I've been dealing with a lot of rain, that's for sure. Saturday, we went on the boat and we took some friends out with us because it was the calm before the literal storm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got back and I have this weird thing. I don't know if I've talked about it on the pod before, but I have this weird thing where if a storm is coming, whether it's just a really big summer storm that's going to be for a few hours or if it's a potential hurricane, I have to clean my whole house. I have to clean my whole house.
Oh.
I have to get all my laundry done because just in case we lose power. I don't know. It's a weird thing. So I did that Friday. And then after we got off the boat Saturday, we took care of everything that was outside of the house. So things on the porch, we brought them in, or things that are outside of the house, brought those in. Because obviously at the time we just knew we were going to get I think it was a tropical depression, I don't remember. And we had plans on Sunday. We were going to go down to the mall and do some stuff on Sunday because the timing looked like we were going to be fine. And then Saturday rolls around and we're like, oh, well, guess we're not going to the mall on Sunday. And so I woke up Sunday morning early and I looked at the time. I was looking at the radar on when we should expect to get, some rain or the beginning of it. And it looked like it was around 11. So I woke my husband up at 9 and I was like, okay, we need to go to Sam's Club because there was some stuff that we needed to get. Not we need toilet paper and water. It was we needed some cat food. There was some other stuff we needed. Anyway, I was like, if we go and we're there when it opens at 10, we can literally get our stuff done in 20 minutes and be gone and out and home. So I can walk the dogs because people don't think about getting your dogs out in the hurricane. So I can walk the dogs before the rain hits. Well, the rain came quicker than we thought it was going to come. So we were still in Sam's Club when it started. And then luckily, one of our kids was at home, so they were able to get the dogs out because it hit us at Sam's before it hit here at home. So then...
Did it hit hard, right away? It just slammed?
Oh, it just... Yeah. And it just did not stop for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And so basically, anytime it slowed down, it wasn't a drizzle, but, there or thereabouts, it was get the dogs out to pee. They'll literally run out, pee, and come back in, I had taken them out before I woke my husband up on Sunday, and I'd taken them out for a walk because I knew they weren't going to be going. And so, yeah, Sunday, it just rained and rained and rained and we didn't go anywhere after we got back from Sam's. And then yesterday morning, I was thinking, oh, we're done, And yesterday morning, I woke up and it was howling winds and slamming it down with rain again. I was like, oh, gosh. But then as the day went on, it kind of stopped mostly. And then obviously the East Coast, North Florida, East Coast, Georgia, into South Carolina, they're getting it really bad. They're talking about catastrophic flooding up there. So, yeah, that's why I was telling you about Savannah. Watch it because it's obviously waterfront. But yeah, they're getting slammed up there. And then, so we're all good here. I don't think, there was some flooding and stuff, but I do know that people have lost their lives. So that's why you'll never hear me being really flippant or cavalier about these things because it hit us as a tropical storm, but I think it hit in the Big Bend as a Cat 1. But even people are like, oh, it's only a Cat 1. No. But even with a tropical storm, people have lost their lives. So that's why I will never, downplay these things. But then I was looking at the National Hurricane Center's website and there's another little yellow X hanging out there. And I'm like, oh, gosh, no. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that? I don't know where it's going to go, if it's going to be anything, but it's hanging out there. So, yeah, so that was basically my weekend. It was just very, very wet and we didn't go anywhere. And yeah, my husband cooked birria. Is that the right word? Tacos? Birria tacos?
Birria. I don't know. What is that?
It's some kind of beef, but like you cook it for a really, really long time. He's like, I'm going to make these birria tacos because I've got hours to do nothing. And I was like, you do you, because I'm not going to eat them anyway. I think they like these tacos, and I don't know how you cook the meat, but then it comes with like a side of not au jus, but like some kind of gravy type thing, I think.
It's like a stew, right?
Maybe. I don't know because I don't eat it.
Do you guys watch any movies?
No, but my husband and one of our kids did. He introduced her to Billy Madison.
Yeah.
Billy
The old
Madison.
Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Is that's the golf one, right?
Yeah. That's a golf.
Yeah.
I was so in love with that teacher when I was
Yeah.
like in like 5th or 6th grade. She's married to, I know if they still are, but at the time, I think she was married to Pete Sampras, tennis player.
Tennis player?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't watch. I watched some of the Olympics and I did some reading. That's pretty much it. Didn't do a whole lot. And then yesterday, I took one of my dogs to the vet because she has really bad allergies. So I took her and she got a shot. And then we did go to the mall yesterday because we didn't get to go Sunday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The shoes.
I got me some shoes.
That's right.
Yeah.
I need to get some shoes.
But that wasn't at the mall. The mall didn't have that particular color. So we had to drive like 40 minutes to get those shoes in that color.
Well, of course.
But they are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them so much. That's not what I went to the mall for, but that's what I ended up with. So, and then one of our kids bought the what do they call them? Oh man, I forget the name of them. Something pop.
Something pop?
Yeah, they're like little statues, but they make them for everything.
I don't know. I haven't seen them.
I forget. Anyway, she got the Wolverine one and it came with a little baby pool. Funko Pop.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
Funko Pop. So she got the Wolverine one with baby pool. I was like, why would you get Wolverine? Like, I wanted Wolverine. And I was like, Deadpool's funnier.
I remember being like 8 years old, buzzing around on my little bike, and I go to Toys R Us and I found the Deadpool toy, and I would hide it behind all of the other X-Men so that nobody would buy it. And I came back like a couple of days later because I begged my dad. He probably just got tired of me crying like a little turd. And he finally gave me like $5, and I rode my bike over there to buy the Deadpool, and then somebody snagged it.
$5. I think it was like $13 yesterday.
Oh yeah, back in like this was like 92 maybe.
No, Deadpool was out in 92.
No, the action figure was. Deadpool was out back then.
Not this.
It just wasn't like not that style of toy that you're talking about now. That kind of figurine that you're talking now. But back then it was. I mean, it's not as popular as it was today, but like nobody had it because he was my favorite.
Wait, so hold on a minute. I'm going to show my ignorance because I'm not up with like X-Men and MCU and stuff. But Deadpool was an actual character before Ryan Reynolds came up with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I had like the trading cards and like Ego and Thanos, I think is his name. I used to be like really into that. But this is back when I was like 8, 7. I was in like 3rd, 4th grade, 5th grade. And like I literally rode my ass over to Toys R Us because I loved Deadpool and nobody else had it. And I found one. I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And then I stashed it and I came back a couple days later and it was gone. I
seriously thought Deadpool was just a character Ryan Reynolds had invented. I didn't realize he existed before that.
Yeah.
Was he as like funny and sarcastic?
I think he was. That's what my girlfriend was saying is like in the comics, he's like real witty and like snippy. You know, like he plays that movie in the comic. I that's what she was saying.
Oh.
The action figure is the action figure, but
they even have an action figure of Dogpool.
Oh, really? With his tongue hanging out?
Yeah. It's funny.
They had is it Peter Pool? Is that
I don't
was
know.
that the guy like his friend, that comedian that's all
over Twitter? Yeah.
When they introduced him, I was losing it laughing. No spoilers. Anyway.
It's so it's so funny. I want to see it again because I want to catch more jokes.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, I think that's catch up. And before you ask me what my plans are this weekend, apparently it's just going to be rainy all weekend this weekend, so probably not much. Oh, also the kids go back to school next week. So
wait.
Yeah. So
are they? Wait, is she driving full time? Is she 16 yet?
No. She will get her permit in September.
Okay. Wow, that's wild.
I know. And if you ask me what's vexing me this week, what is vexing me this week? Oh, you know what's vexing me this week? People. Stalker. But like people that always have to find the negative in everything. Like they'll take a situation, here's a classic example, right? And this, I've seen this time and time again. And I think it just comes down to like social media is just literally like a toxic dumpster fire. But I saw the final of the women's floor gymnastics. I think it was yesterday. And the Brazilian girl won, and she was amazing. And then we had two gymnasts, silver and bronze. And so the Brazilian girl's name is Rebecca. So Rebecca goes to stand on the podium, and she's flanked by the Americans on either side, and they bow down to her.
Yeah, I saw that picture on Twitter.
And I was like, man, that is amazing, because you've got literally the best gymnast in the world here. And she is like giving credit to this other girl, this Brazilian girl. And people are like, oh, you should, why are you doing that? Like talking absolute garbage about these girls doing it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the epitome of the Olympics. It's all about sportsmanship, and it's all about giving credit to these people that have worked really hard. And she didn't win it by a fluke. She didn't win it like she won it because she had the best floor performance. And it's like, I've seen this like constantly. They'll take something that's so sweet and so good natured, and there's nothing but kindness behind these things, and then they just, someone somewhere will always find some shit to talk about it, rather than like, that's sportsmanship, that's what the Olympics is about, that's what it should be about. We're not here to be upset because we got a silver and a bronze. We're here to be thankful and proud that we got a silver and a bronze. And like, and I just seen it throughout the whole thing. And it's just that's what's irking me. People that they will take a situation and they will find the negative in that situation regardless. And it doesn't have to be the Olympics. It could be anything. Like, even in your personal life, you can try and do something with the best of intentions, and somebody somewhere will be like, well, they only did that for this reason, Isn't
it like a clear trait of depression when people do that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't want to start being out here trying to evaluate people's mental health. But I do believe that it's a you problem, not a them problem. Meaning you're the person that's always finding the negative in somebody else, rather than either giving them the benefit of the doubt or talking to them about it and finding out, like, I'm just like curious, why you did that, or thinking to yourself, it's Occam's razor, right? Like, in some ways, Occam's razor basically states that typically the most simplistic way of getting to an answer is typically that's the answer. If you've got to jump through 13,000 hoops to get there, it's probably not the right answer. But it's the same thing. If you don't understand why someone's doing something, ask them. Or if someone tells you somebody did something and you're like, well, that doesn't even make any sense, instead of running with that, then ask them. So negativity, that's what's vexing me today. Negativity.
Side note, one of the funniest, in my opinion, one of the best SNL skits of all time is Debbie Downer. They're at
the table, Rachel Dratch.
Yeah, Lindsay Lohan. Yeah.
Oh my God. I haven't watched SNL in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, I think it was a lot better back then.
I think everybody has their own era. Because I think if you talk to people that are older than us, they'll tell you that their era was better than that.
Like,
you know
Chevy
what I mean?
Chase and
so I mean, God, they had so many greats on there, So I think it's like the era that you grew up in, probably the political atmosphere you grew up in, and whatever else was topical at the time, So but I haven't watched it in a hot minute. I don't even know if it's on. It's probably not, because it's summer now. But anywho, all right. So I guess we should talk about what we're talking about.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I already told you at the top of this. You not pay attention. Didn't pay attention. We are talking about, that's rude. We are talking about why SEO testing matters, specifically as it pertains to growing your dispensary.
SEO testing. Okay. And we briefly discussed this before you hit record on this, of like, of course, what it is, but like, how do you track it? So I guess, and you had a really good explanation.
Yeah.
So
try to.
I think we should probably go back a second. What is SEO testing?
So basically, SEO testing is you're going to be testing processes where changing your website's design, for example, or specific content on your website. It's the process of testing those changes to see how they impact your traffic, specifically, obviously, organic traffic, right? So that's basically it. you're tracking and measuring any changes that you make either to design or content and seeing what effect that will have on the traffic that you then bring in.
Gotcha. Okay. So we'll go into what it is, the benefits, the types, plural types of SEO tests, how to implement it, some of the challenges, and some of the tools that you can use. So all about SEO testing.
Yeah, because SEO testing is not as easy as testing other types of marketing, obviously.
Yeah, the first time I did this, years ago, I was like, what the hell? Like, and then after a while, like, okay, I realize why this is so nuanced and why you have to be so organized with this, because it really is a big undertaking and you can negatively affect, if you're not careful, your website traffic, or you can positively affect it, of course.
And that's why, like you said, it isn't just definitely nuanced. It's not like, obviously with dispensaries, we can't pay for ads in Google and stuff like that, where those type of ads, you can literally see exactly how many clicks you had, or like, say you do like an email marketing campaign or like a Facebook marketing campaign. Those are all things that you can easily track click-through rates and traffic and stuff like that very easily. So you can't obviously do that with SEO. And then on top of that, the Google algorithm, or the way that Google crawls your websites, or what Google looks for, it changes all the time. They update stuff all the time. So what you may have tested last year and the way that you made those changes last year might not be as effective this year because of the algorithm changes or something, anything else that's changed within the way that Google tracks stuff. So it's definitely a lot harder. That doesn't mean you can't do it, but it is a lot harder than it would be with any form of marketing that you do out there. And because of that, and this is definitely more your expertise than mine, but because of that, making sure your back end and all of your tracking and the things like your KPIs, like making sure all of that is set up properly becomes so valuable because of how hard it is to do SEO testing.
And going off of that, I think the overall, meat and potatoes of that to me is the importance of data-driven decisions.
Right. Yeah.
So when doing like A/B testing, multivariate testing, how would you roughly set that up?
That's a you question, because that's all back end stuff. That's all like code.
Okay,
Like,
so like,
that's definitely more in your neck of the woods than mine, because I like that's all. First of all, data bores the ever loving pants off of me, and second of all, the setting it up is definitely more your expertise, I think.
so I would jump in and I would say, okay, a variant that we're going to test is on the homepage of a dispensary. We're going to put the categories up, and there's going to be 3 categories. There's going to be flower, there's going to be edibles, and there's going to be pre-rolls. And we're going to put that towards the top of the page so that when somebody lands on the page and they scroll down, they'll see some Google reviews, something positive about it, like a social signal. And then bam, right away, they've got a shopping category to make it easy to purchase. In other words, give the people what they want when they land on your website. So that to me would be a variant. And I would give it 30 days. And the variant would be, do these 3 categories have a click-through rate higher than if the categories were not on that homepage? So metric
that can be considered A/B testing.
A/B testing, yeah. So I would have a start date and end date on what page. So like a spreadsheet would look like the following. A column, they'd have columns. The columns would be start date, end date, page, summary, KPIs, and then the results of those tests.
Okay.
So the start date would be August 6th. The end date would be September 6th. The page would be the homepage. The summary would be the 3 categories for shopping on the homepage. And those would be what I just mentioned. And the metrics, or pardon me, the KPIs, the winning variant of that would be clicks and conversions. And then the result would come after the 30 days. And I would say 99% of the time, you're going to have higher click-through rates than if they weren't on there. That's what you want. Well,
that's your hypothesis. You wouldn't know that until you've done your testing.
Yeah, you're right. Well, okay, yes, you're right. The cool thing about data is that it's absolute. Like, you can't argue with it, right? It's like 100%. Jay-Z says, like, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Yeah, you can't really argue with results of a A/B test. So that would be an example of a A/B test.
Yeah, that's definite. And we talked about one earlier. We talked about, say you have a call to action button, like buy now, for example.
Mhm.
Another example of A/B testing would be if we make this button blue for a month, then we make this button green for a month, then we make this button red for a month. What's giving us a higher click-through rate?
Right.
What's higher, people are actually using it and shopping. So yeah, that's exactly what that is. And that is so incredibly common. And it's a necessity because, you might have something on your website in a specific spot because aesthetically it looks great and that's wonderful. But if it's not serving you any purpose being there, then we don't care. So yeah, that's why A/B testing is really important. And A/B testing is one of those things that is continuously done. Not obviously on the same elements, but it is continuously done on your website.
And in the broader scope of things of those tests, in terms of SEO traffic, organic traffic, your dispensary will get improved search engine rankings, increased website traffic, better user experience, higher conversion rates. That's the KPI.
Yeah.
More sales.
Yeah.
And enhanced ROI on your SEO. And the meat and potatoes of that can be tracked through Google Analytics, which we'll get into a little bit later. The tools and tracking and all that, because obviously, you can't, like, how do you gauge something if you're not even monitoring it? So we'll give you the tools here in a second. So there's a couple different types of SEO tests that you can run, like on page. That would be like you title tags. So for example, if you have like a low click-through rate, well, you should once per month at least. You want to increase your click-through rate on certain pages, you can change the title tags, the meta descriptions, and then add in some content. That's an on-page test. Technical test would be like removing a video off of your homepage to make it faster. It should be mobile friendly. It is 2024, so your website should be mobile friendly. Although we have seen some that are not, which is asinine to me. So fast page speed, mobile friendly, and structured data that is tight. That is not like bullshit, like schema, which we see from time to time. Use a schema optimizer, plug those on the pages, and you can measure that performance afterwards. So I know that's really boring SEO. Like technical SEO is so bloody boring. It's almost like mind numbing, but it is very effective. And then another kind would be off page. So backlink quality, citations, that's more local. Strong social signals and GMB or Google Business Profile optimizations. Right. Business category is your city page linking to your GBP and it's your name, address, phone number, congruent, not only on the listing, of course, but throughout your website. Definitely do testing before and after for that.
Yeah. And obviously you're also testing your keyword ranking, which you can do on Ahrefs or SEMrush.
Mm-hmm.
Same with your branding and non-branded traffic. Again, the focus here would be your organic traffic, 100%. Mm-hmm. So yeah, all those kind of things is what you're going to be looking at.
What would be some speed bumps, some challenges when setting up these A/B testings? Variants.
Time.
Mental health.
Yeah. Well, first of all, making sure that you have a structure in place to record the results. I know we were looking at one earlier where it had a spreadsheet in it. So make sure you clearly keep good records of what you're testing, how you're testing it, when you're testing it. You'd be surprised at the amount of people that don't do that. I don't understand why, but they don't. So obviously that. And then time. A/B testing, depending on how many things you're testing, like we talked about, say the color of a call to action button. If you've got 3 options, you're at least 90 days on something like that. If you're talking about multivariant testing, which is when you're testing more than one variant at a time, depending on the number of variants you have, that could go a lot longer. So yeah, I definitely think the time constraint on that. And also, we also talked about this a little bit offline. Some things can skew your results. For example, if you're running some A/B testing and you happen to be running it over, say, like the 420 holiday or over a time when you happen to be running a really great sale, that is going to skew your results. So those are kind of things you really have to pay attention to. Or if, for example, you know that November is your busiest month, maybe don't run your A/B testing over that particular time because your results are going to be skewed and you won't know the accuracy of what you're testing.
Got it. And each one of those tests would be 30 days, you would say, at least?
Typically for A/B testing, it's about 30 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Typically. I
I'm
mean, I'm
I,
not saying you can't run it for longer. I wouldn't run it any less than that, but
I'm thinking like how critical it is to be organized with it on what part of the page you're changing. I would almost say make a copy of the page, like a dummy of the page that you're going to test, and
yeah,
then move the elements around on there and just make sure that page even renders correctly when that page even loads with those changes on it. And then get approval from stakeholders in your dispensary, or if it's just yourself. Just make sure that you have a diagram before you start messing around with things on the page. If you have to revert back, you're not starting over and kind of stepping on your own foot.
yeah, definitely. Record keeping is super important at that point.
Yeah. What tools would you use
Google
for
Analytics,
testing? Yeah.
obviously. SEMrush or Ahrefs for
Hmm.
sure.
Search console. Yeah.
Yeah,
For seeing like click through rate, what pages are dropping, why did they drop, that kind of thing.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Spreadsheet.
For keeping track, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Google Sheets.
100%. You need to make sure that you have a form of a spreadsheet, Google Sheets or Excel or whatever you use, 100%. And make sure that you have that set up properly before you start. Make sure you also have your starting data down. So you know at point zero, this is where you were with all of the KPIs you're choosing to measure. Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. Think that pretty much covers it as far as like what is testing, SEO testing, what are the benefits? I think almost more importantly, what are the risks of SEO testing if it's not done correctly? If it's done correctly, your website will literally just take off. On top of clean SEO that you're doing, the A/B testing will absolutely help. That about wraps everything up, huh? Tools, the resources, the challenges.
I would say this, don't test too much at the same time. I know that seems like duh, but we're not trying to test 20 things at once here because your results again will be skewed. That's why I'm saying when you ask me like what's the downside of it or what's the challenges, time is your challenge. And you're going to have to figure out what's the most important things for you to test initially and create the list of things that you're wanting to test, but don't be trying to test everything all at the same time. It's not going to work out. You'll get results, but they won't be accurate. And you just have to be patient. And I think that's probably the best advice I can give you is don't test too many things at once. It's going to be a terrible plan.
Be patient.
Yeah, very much so. Testing is one of those things that takes time.
Yeah. I kind of get poopy pants when I have to wait. So,
Yeah, we know.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I think that about covers everything, huh?
I think so. I think so. Unless you've got anything really earth shattering that you need to explain to us.
You know what? Okay, not in terms of SEO, but when you were saying what is vexing you, what has been vexing me, past tense, this drives me absolutely batty. But when I go up to the mountains, I drive up to the mountains, I cannot stand when people drive in the slow lane on the left-hand side and they don't pass. I cannot stand that. Like, oh my gosh, it drives me absolutely nuts.
So I think I may have talked about this in a previous What's Vexing Me, but I was just talking to this with one of our kids the other day. The thing probably that annoys me more than anything is people's lack of consideration for others, right? And their situational / spatial awareness.
Yeah.
That falls into that category for me.
It's like a thing here in Colorado too. Like if you're going up to the, if you're using I-70, you get the fuck out of the left lane if you're not going to pass the car in the right lane.
Yeah, because you're holding everybody else
You're
up.
literally holding everybody up, and there's these dummies. Oh, I'll just keep driving. Anyway, yeah. So that's been on my mind, the back of my mind here.
Yeah.
Since you were saying what vexed
Yeah.
you. So
It's totally lack of consideration for others.
I can't stand
Honestly,
that.
that's what it comes down to. It does drive me batty. I think we were just talking about this yesterday because I think something happened in the mall or something, and I'm like, oh, I cannot. Slow walkers, they annoy me. Like, yeah.
When people walk like on the left side
Yeah.
of the walkway, that's like driving down the wrong. You're literally driving down the wrong side of the street. Well, not literally. You're figuratively driving down the wrong side of the street.
Or like say you're driving on a road, multi-lane road, and there's a turning lane, right? So say you're going to turn left. There's 2 lanes and then there's a left turning lane coming up, maybe at a traffic light or something, right? If you're in the left lane, you don't need to slow all the way down to then move into the left lane. You just move into the left lane.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
That happened yesterday. And my husband's like a very chill person. His Achilles heel is parking. Nothing will get on his nerves like parking. He could be in a million other scenarios and be very chill, but make him park as a whole another ball game. Yesterday, this person was like going into the left lane and literally slammed on their brakes to move into a left lane with no other traffic. So,
yeah, that would do it. Yeah, that would irritate me. Sure.
Yep. Well, I think we're done for another week. We'll be back next. We've only got a few more episodes before we head out to our little meeting.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got to do a ghost tour. That's that.
Savannah survives.
Yeah, we got to do the ghost tour. We got to do that restaurant by the water. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we should probably look into tickets for that ghost tour. But anyway, yes, I'm excited. I'm very much looking forward to it. It should be a good time.
Sweet. So cool.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week with a whole nother exciting episode of the High Ranking Podcast. Until then, you can find us in all of the usual spots: Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, give us a review, and give us a listen next week.
Peace.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the High Rankings Podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in the insight and the tips we shared. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling super generous, we would love it if you left us a review. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover in a future episode, or if you have any questions, you can go ahead and find us on LinkedIn or YouTube. We'll see you next time.